Hey there, welcome back to this playlist on Tosca tips and tricks. Here we cut through complexity, level up your Tosca automation skills, and we solve real-world problems. Today we are going to talk about synchronization timeout. Now, what is synchronization? Well, it prevents a particular test step from failing when the application which you are testing requires additional time to reach its expected state. So, for example, if you want to click on a particular button, but it is going to load after some time in the application, or the application is taking time to load that particular element, then your synchronization timeout will help to wait for a particular time, which is defined in the settings. Now, there will be situations where we don't want to increase the synchronization timeout or the synchronization timeout during WaitOn from the setting, because it will increase the timeout globally in Tosca for each and every test case, which we don't want to do it because there are different projects, different applications, different types of test cases where you will require different timeouts. So changing this default value is not a good idea. Rather than that, you keep this as the default minimum value for your synchronization timeout, and then you change the value temporarily in your test steps during execution, during the runtime. And that is what I'm going to show you in this particular video. So how you can change your synchronization timeout during WaitOn for a specific test step, for a specific wait period in different parts of your test case or in different test cases. So coming back to our project in our workspace, so we are going to work with a particular test case. I'm going to use the demo application to do this. We'll be looking at two different pages. One is login and then one with the products. So here I've already prepared two modules for this, and we are going to add a test case here. We will say synchronize. And here, so we are going to add another module here, which is the login page. And then we will be adding the products page as well. So here we will enter the username and password. So we'll copy it from here. We'll be clicking on this, so we'll be using the X instead of the click method. And then here I am going to say visible is equals to true, and we will do a verification here. And this we are going to click on this particular add to cart button. So these are the steps. Now this should work fine with the default synchronization timeout, but imagine a situation where you have to have different time to wait for each page. So each page is loading differently, and you need more time instead of the default timeout, or you have to increase the timeout for each page. Now in this kind of scenario, what you can do is basically add your own timeout, right? So first what we'll do is we will do a set buffer. Okay, and we will do this before the login page, and here we'll say this is the time to wait, and we will set our own time here. So we'll set 3000, and I will have this same thing again after the login page, which is the products page. So here I want to have a different timeout. Say for example, I want to have a shorter timeout for this. Okay, we can also add the URL. So instead of directly opening that, we'll say open URL, and we'll put this here. and we'll put the URL here. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is a set buffer. It is not the timeout. I'm not setting a hard timeout here. I'm just setting it to a buffer, time to wait, right? Now, what I can do is I can go to test configuration and configure this as a buffer. So here I can go ahead and add a configuration parameter, and this is the synchronization timeout. As you can see, we have got both of them here. So I can use the synchronization timeout and I can use synchronization timeout during WaitOn. And if I am using this, I can put the value as the buffer. So we'll say time to wait. Okay. So what will happen is it will take this buffer value from the test case and it will change depending on what you have set for each particular step, or after each step it will keep changing. So it will not go to the default timeout. It will have its own timeout for each particular step. That way you can control the timeout depending on your particular test step, or if the page is taking more time, less time, you can change it accordingly. So this test case is ready and we are ready to execute. So we'll execute it once just to make sure that everything is working as expected. And you will see a bit of timeout before it tries to actually enter this, because I have specifically asked it to wait for around 3 seconds, which is 3000 milliseconds, and then it is performing that particular step. So our timeout is working as expected. Now, as you can see here, this is where it is setting the buffer, and it is waiting for that amount of time before it is executing the remaining steps. So instead of changing the timeout globally across your project for all the test cases from settings, you can change it right from your test steps using the test configuration, and you have to use the synchronization timeout during WaitOn and synchronization timeout. These are the test configuration parameters which are present in Tosca, and you can use them. So that's all for this particular video. Thanks for watching. If you want to continue building your automation knowledge in Tosca, then do hit that like, subscribe, and also drop a comment with your biggest Tosca pain point. I will try to cover it in our next video.